Hello, good day, Accounting 102 students. Welcome to our pre-recorded lecture about our midterm topic 2 for inventories. So this will be the part 1 as there are a lot of topics to cover for inventories. So I think I've mentioned to you that we have 4 parts here as mentioned in our discussion during face-to-face classes. But I think I will be able to give you 3 parts for our pre-recorded lecture. And this will be the first part. So please listen and be attentive to our discussion for today. Okay, part 1, inventories. So let's start with the definition of inventories. And we have an accounting standard that is applicable to inventories, a specific accounting standards. It's PAS2, which is reference from IAS2, International Accounting Standards. And here in the Philippines, it's PAS2. And it's defined according to PAS2, inventories or assets held for sale in the ordinary course of business. So kindly take note of this, held for sale. And another definition is that it's in the process of production or it's used in the process of production, which eventually it will be sold. And another one is in the form of materials or supplies, which is to be consumed in the production process. So it will be utilized, during the production process. Or if it's not a manufacturing business, so it doesn't entail production, so it may um or it will be used in the rendering of services if it's a service type of business. Okay, so I'd like you to um pause for a moment, no? So imagine if the business stops managing its inventory. So wala na inventory, no? What will happen? So there will be lost sales. You cannot be able to accommodate your customers, no? Because you don't have any inventories at all. Then stock outs, um, kana, nangahurot na yung mga inventories that thus leading you to lost sales. And um, in contrast to what I said a while ago, if you don't, if you are not able to manage your inventory properly, then that will lead to overstocking. So, daghan kay kag inventory sa imong warehouse or sa imong place, no? And it constitutes waste. It's a waste actually. So, um yeah, because it's a waste because eventually ma-obsolete man gud siya, no? And then so it leads us now to think that inventory is not just an asset, no? Although your accounting standard states that it's an asset, but um operationally, when you think of it inside the business, it's actually a critical operational driver. So if wala inventory, I don't know what happens to your business, right? Okay. So here in our definition of inventory, we have tackled that the inventories are not just held for sale, dili lang katong mga igbabaligya, no? Say for example, you are in a merchandising business. So kato imong gi-buy and sell, um mo to siya imong inventories, 'di ba? Pero when we are in a manufacturing type of business, we produce, right? Or we make our own products. Therefore, ang apil sa proseso, no, apil na mga gamit, mga materials, mga supplies, in making such product that will eventually be sold, appear siya sa inventories, no? So, naatay tawag ana, which is MRO. Um, I forgot lang unsa to ang kuan sa MRO, but let me recall niya, no? MRO, hold on. Let me MRO, okay. So MRO supplies that pertains to maintenance, repair, and operating supplies. So apil na siya sa inventories actually. For example, ang parts sa maintenance ka ng mga cleaning materials, apil na siya sa inventories. What else? Repairs. Sa mga repairs. Mga repairs. Kanang mga martilyo, no? Kanang mga inana that will be used to um repair what was inside the production facility, no? So, kanang mga ginagmay like mga supplies, materials, no, that will be um what do you call this one? Nga magamit for repairs. And also katong giingon nako ganina na appeal siya sa operating supplies. MRO man to siya, di ba? Maintenance, repair, and operating supplies. So, ang operating supplies kanang mga, for example, mga safety gear, no, sa production. Of course, magamit man tingali kag mga gloves, mga goggles para dili ka uh, it's a preventive um those are preventive things, no, while you are working in the production facility. So kana siya mga appeal na sila sa inventory. So dili lang katong held for sale in the ordinary course of business, but those which form which constitutes materials or supplies, no, that will be used in the production process or in the rendering of services. So I hope that's clear. Then there are two classes of inventories. Let's look at how do we classify inventory when we look at in a merchandising company. So there is one classification, which is inventory. So the nature of the business for merchandising is buy and sell. So it's already a ready-made product that you bought and then you will later resell, no? So for example, kanang nakay business baron ganahan ka um maligyag ukay-ukay, no? So, ana siya. Usara ang classification sa inventory. But when we look at in a manufacturing company, kuan siya, more complex siya. Kay daghan na siya classifications. There are three major classifications here. Um, number one is raw materials. Raw materials. So, kanang mga, when you make a product, di ba? So, you have inputs, no? You have to have materials as inputs. So, dili na siya maporma kung walay raw materials. Okay? And then, nasa tayo mga work in process inventory. There is work in process inventory katong in process na siya, in progress na siyang inventory. Apil gihapon na siya sa um, classification sa manufacturing. And we also have finished goods. Kato na siyang ready-made or I mean man na siya nga product, no? So those are the three major classifications under manufacturing type of business, no? So in my next, where was it? Okay. Hold on. Na ako'y wala na appeal. Ah, Okay, yeah. Okay, so I want to give you a bird's eye view about the three major classifications of inventories under manufacturing company. So don't worry for this one. We will not delve on to the specifics because this will be discussed in your cost accounting. That will be next sem, your when you are promoted, no? Promoted sa second year. Okay? So let's pray to that. Okay, so raw materials inventory, there are purchases, no, what you have purchased. Then there are raw materials available for production, which ang raw materials available for production is the sum of the beginning raw materials inventory. Then unsa to mga ending unsa to ang mga na-transfer to work in process kay mao ni siya ang nahabilin kay mao ng ending raw material inventory. And then sa work in process inventory mao ni siya ang mga um naa diri appeal siya nga mga cost, no? For you to know how much is your work in process inventory. You have the direct materials transferred from the raw materials here. Your direct labor, of course. You need manpower to make your products. Manufacturing overhead. Next, manufacturing overhead. Those that are not part of direct materials, not part of the direct labor, that will be included here, manufacturing overhead. So that is the indirect materials and indirect labor. Okay. Then work in process inventory, then your finished goods. So then your cost of goods sold here will be included in the income statement. But don't worry, this will be tackled in your in your cost accounting. Moving on to the inclusion to inventory. So, mao ni siya ang kasagaran nga type of exam, no? Kanang unsa man like appeal ba na siya nga inventory? Do you need to include that? Do you need to exclude that one? Then pangutan-on mo how much? How much is your inventory, no? So, this is very important, no? Inclusion, what includes or what are the items that you need to include in your inventory? So, natay concept na legal test. Legal test. So, it's like sim in a simple and in a simple manner, no? Or when we simplify it, no, legal test is like if you own it, you need to include it. So, if ikay owner ana, then you need to include it. Bahalag wala pa sa imuha ang kanang inventory, no? So, say for example, if you really believe that this degree program, no, you will obtain CPA, you will obtain a CPA title soon, no? So, include na ba siya, miss? Dili pa ka magkama-kama CPA dera. Pero soon, no? Um, let's wait for that right moment. But anyways, going back, if you own it, you need to include it. Okay? And here are some items which klaro na siya nga you need to include it in your inventory. Those are items which naa na sa imuhang place, no? Those are owned on hand by you. Goods sold in transit. Goods sold in transit. So if the freight term is FOB destination, so goods sold in transit. Unsa man? Um, FOB destination. So that is still yours, right? So if you are the seller, because this is FOB destination and you sold the goods. So that means you are the seller here. Seller ka ani. Therefore, you have to include the goods sold in transit in your inventory. Goods purchased in transit. So here, purchase in transit, and the freight term is FOB shipping point. Then that means you are already the owner of that goods. So that's yours to include in your inventory. Then out on consignment. Out on consignment. So, unsa may consignment? Like, mura siya, for example, um, sa atong school. Sa una is that ang mga author sa book is consignment basis ra na siya, no? Consignment basis ra ang atong arrangement. So, dira sa bookstore. So, ang katong dili mahalin nga books, it will be returned. Okay? So, the or legally, no? Or in substance, we don't own that or the books, no? Even if we have it, we don't own it. So it's just consigned to us by the author of the book. So si consignor, si author. Kita ang consignee, no? Gibilin raman sa bookstore sa USJR, for example. Therefore, if sa books ni consignor, i-include na siya nga inventory niya. And sa consignee, i-exclude. Dili na ato ang inventory if we are the consignee. Number 5 is in the hands of salesman or agent. So, pare-pareho ra siya concept sa out on consignment in the hands of salesman or agent. For example, your arrangement with your customers is that inyo pang namo intermediary, no? Na yung mga salesman, na agent. So, if katong product na apa sa ilaha, so you have to include that one in your inventory. That is not owned by the salesman or agent. That's yours, no? Then 6 is held by customers on approval or on trial. So, kung, for example, testers, naa sa mga customers, kay lagi, gitestingan pa, no? Then, for example, after 1 week, kay iuli if di sila ganahan, no? So, kana siya, within that duration, 1 week, you still have to include that in your inventory. Unless if they will keep it beyond the 1 week. So, mo na yung agreement, no? So, beyond 1 week, na sa ilaha, then, wala nila giuli, then, that's the inventory sa customers na. Pero if giuli sa ato, so, that will be included sa atong inventory. Here is an exception, no? Here's an exception to the legal test. That's installment sale. Unsa man ang installment sale? 'Di ba kadungog na mo anang mga sorry. So installment sale like tigi-tigi ba, no? The what they call that one? Wala pa ka fully paid ni buyer, no? So for example, ang phone, na kay business na phone, no? Kay dato man ka. Charot. So na kay iPhone 17 na kay iPhone nga business, iPhone business. So kana magpa-installment ka. You accept installment payment, no? So every month. So they already have, or the customers have already obtained the iPhones, but you are not yet fully paid by them. So substance over form, na ana ni buyer, no? Ang good or ang iPhone, cause he or she purchased it. So the buyer owns it na. But sa seller is wala pa ka nahatagan sa tanan nga or sa tanan na gi-invoice nimo nga amount, which is for example 100,000. So ang naa pa nimo is 10,000 pa. For example lang. So that is sale with deferred income, no, on your part if you are the seller. So naa kay deferred income, no? So for installment sale, substance over form, you have already transferred the risks and rewards to the owner, no? Once katong gi-obtain na nila ang iPhone, no? So you have already transferred the risks and rewards to them. Therefore, they are now the owner of the iPhone and it's now their inventory, no? Bahalag wala pa ka nakadawat sa full payment, dili dili na naimuha, no? Dili pa na or it will not stay as yours. I'm very sorry for that, no? So you have already transferred it, then that's not yours to record. That's not yours to include na, no? So appeal na siya sa kang buyer na records. So installment sale, you will not include it to your inventory because substance over form, you've already transferred the risks and rewards. Okay. This is just a refresh refresher, no, of your accounting 101. So FOB shipping point, if or the ownership passes to the buyer when the public carrier accepts the goods from the seller. So if ni-depart na siya sa seller and if that is FOB shipping point, then that's already the ownership of the buyer. Sa FOB destination naman is dili pa siya owned ni buyer until such time that the goods will reach to him or her. So, pagmamay-ari pa siya ni seller. Here, pagmamay-ari na siya ni buyer. Okay. Now, let's try this one. This company completed its inventory count. It arrived at a total inventory value of $200,000. Been given the information listed below. Discuss how this information affects the reported cost of inventory. Okay. So, naa kay total na inventory value of 200,000. Then, included daw sa kana nga inventory ang held on consignment for false company costing 15,000. Question, is that yours? So, held on consignment for false. So, unsa man ta diri? Consignee, consignor. Held on consignment. So, we are the consignee. Consignee ta. The consignor is false. So, therefore, ato ni siyang i-remove from the 200,000. So, 200,000 minus 15,000. Now, the company did not include in the count purchased goods of 10,000 which were in transit terms FOB shipping point. So, FOB shipping point na, ikaw ang buyer, no? So, appeal na dapat sa imuha. But it was not included. So, 10,000 will be added, no, to 200,000. 200,000 minus 15,000 plus 10,000. Then the company did not include in the count of inventory that had been sold with the cost of 12,000, which was in transit. So, had been sold. Ikaw ang seller. The freight term is FOB shipping point. So, FOB shipping point. So, kang buyer na nga item. Dili na imuha. So, sakto ra ang treatment that you did not include it. So, wala ra. Disregard number 3, 200,000 minus 15,000, that is 185,000 plus 10,000, that's 195,000. So, yung total inventory di ay is only 195,000. It's not 200,000. Let's go to presentation of the inventory. So the presentation in the face of your financial statement is that it is under current assets. So mag-una tong cash, sunod accounts receivable or trade and other receivables, no nga line item. And then next is the inventories. This is a one-line item in the face of the financial statements. And for the breakdown of the inventories, katong mga raw materials, inana, or the major classifications of the inventories, no? Adto na siya sa breakdown or sa disclosure in the notes. And some other details, no? For that one line item that was presented in the face of the financial statement. Now, let's go to accounting for inventories. Accounting na ta for inventories. Okay. Sorry, wait lang, napuling ko. Okay, accounting for inventories. We have two accounting systems, perpetual and periodic. So, sa perpetual, okay, sa perpetual, it's this is applicable to large amounts, small volumes, in small volumes. So, dinagko nga mga amounts, but kuan na sila, few items. Then, it involves continuous tracking. Like, every now and then, inyo siyang i-track, no? Real-time tracking of the transaction each and every time. Then, that includes stock cards. So, sa inyong book, na may example sa stock cards sa cost flow, inventory cost flow, itong perpetual, no? 5 for perpetual. So, we'll tackle that one once we reach cost flow, inventory cost flow. Then, immediate recognition of cost of goods sold or cost of sales. And then, can have year-end count. So, for perpetual inventories, no, since we involve here high value items, sensitive items, probably kanang mga very precious na mga items, no? So, there is a tight control. That's why there is a continuous tracking, no? And there are examples of businesses which is applicable or which have used perpetual. So, examples anak kay mga car dealerships, mga electronic stores, mga jewelry shops, mga large retail chains nga naay mga barcode systems, no? Mga super metro, no? Kay mga high-tech naman na sila with barcode systems naman na large retail chains. Then, items are laptops, mga smartphones, mga vehicles, appliances, mga jewelry. No? So, sa SM department store. Okay. And for your perpetual, it involves small amount, no? Small amount siya, but large volumes. So, small amount, large volumes. So, kanang mga saba. Dinaghan siya pero gagmay ra ang prices or cost, no? So, sa may mga examples ana niya. Mm. Sa may mga example sa periodic system. Kana ganing mga low cost na mga items sa sari-sari store, no? Or sa mga supermarkets, sa mga grocery stores, ang mga hardware stores, mga convenience stores, kaya na, mga canned goods, mga sa hardware, kay mga nails, mga screws, mga tools nga mga ginagmay, mga school supplies, pens, paper, cleaning materials, apil na siya there sa periodic. So, wala tay tracking, continuous tracking here because it is impractical. Kay, dinaghan man ni sila, ba? Dinaghan, no? Pero ginagmay ra siya ang mga amount. So, um, it's not continuous tracking, but it's checking at fixed intervals. So, it's periodic, no? So, naay periodic checking. So, usually, it's year-end ang count. Year-end ang inventory count. And cost of goods sold is computed at the end of the year, at the end of the period. No? So, wala siya ang comparison as to the perpetual, no? So, periodic versus perpetual. Now, nganong ang duha, it needs to be counted physically, no? Here, can have a year-end count, and here, you can also, or periodic, it's very important for you to do year-end count so that you will calculate the cost of goods sold. No, kay kaniyang perpetual, there is a tracking, automatic tracking of the cost of goods sold. Maka-know dayon ka in advance what is the amount of the cost of goods sold. But here, for the periodic, you will only know the amount at the end of the period or at the end of the year when you do inventory count. Now, what is physical inventory count? So that involves counting, weighing, or measuring each kind of inventory on hand. So depends on sa na siya nga type of inventory, no? So dapat ma-count nimo, ma-weigh or ma-measure. Then companies often take inventory when the business is closed or business is slow para dili kayo makaka-disrupt sa operations of the business. Usually at the end of the accounting period. So if calendar period mo nga accountant, at the end of the year mo, December, kana. So magpasko tingali mo dito sa kumpanya, no? Kay mag-inventory count man mo or mag-New Year mo ito sa inyong company. Kung calendar period na ang inyong company. But anyways, I also would like to highlight this one. So, in a famous fraud, a salad oil company filled its storage tanks mostly with water. So it's an oil company, no? The oil rose to the top and the auditors thought that the tanks were full of oil. So it's water the eye. The company also said it had more tanks than it really did, no? So another fraud. So nag-fraud pa sila water, then daghan pa daw silang tanks. It repainted numbers on the tanks to confuse the auditors. So, grabe, no? So, what's their purpose on this one? No? It's like manipulation. Okay, it's fraud. Anyways, so physical inventory taken for two reasons. That is um that is in the perpetual system, checking of accuracy of inventory records, no? And not just that, but during physical inventory count, maka-know if maka-know ang um ano sa ba? Ang manager, no? If nabay inventory or maka-know ang inventory personnel there. If naabay inventory loss due to wasted raw materials, shoplifting, or employee theft. So it's very important that physical inventory will be taken, no? Especially in the um or either of the two systems. So mo ni siya ang mga purposes, no? So as a perpetual system, it's involving high value items, ra ba? So it's very important for them to conduct physical inventory count. Basig na yung mga na-lost there na mga inventory. Then periodic system to determine the inventory on hand. So makompute man nimo ang cost of goods sold at the end of the period or at the end of the year. Therefore, ang imong inventory on hand pod ma-identify pod na nimo siya at the end of the year, no? By doing physical count. So for the next slide, the continuation, this is the journal entries, perpetual and periodic inventory systems. So sa perpetual inventory system, whenever there is a purchase of merchandise, mga purchase returns and allowances, freight costs on purchases, payment on account with a discount, no? Kani, that will or you will use merchandise inventory and not purchases. So, mo ni ang kalahian sa perpetual o periodic. Tanan kay merchandise inventory at to isud sa account na merchandise inventory. But sa periodic is, it will be under purchases. Wala kay makita nga merchandise inventory here. Nasa purchases, purchase returns and allowances, freight in, purchase discounts. But here sa perpetual inventory system, tanan is merchandise inventory. Now, for the sale of merchandise on credit, so, namaligya na ka sa merchandise na imong kuan, no? Imong gipalit. So, each time you have a sale, then you will also record the cost of goods sold. Kay, mo man ni siya in connection with the previous here discussion, immediate recognition of cost of goods sold. Once there is a sale. So, kung kadahalin nimo sa imong goods, ma-update pod ang imong cost of goods sold o merchandise inventory. So, nakahalin ka, ni gamay imong inventory, ni dako imong cost of goods sold. But here, sa periodic inventory system, no entry. Kay at the end of the year pa man ka mag-compute or mag-count sa imong inventory. Therefore, at the end of the year, sad ka at the end of the year, pod ka mag-compute for the cost of goods sold. Then, return on merchandise. So, sa return on merchandise pod, no? Once you have, or once there is a return on merchandise sa from the customer, so, imong i-update sales returns and allowances. So, same ra gyapon og entry sa periodic. But here, you will also need to update your cost of goods sold or merchandise inventory. So, nabalik man sa imuha ang merchandise, so, imong i-set up again. Imo rang i-reverse. So, debit merchandise inventory, then credit cost of goods sold. Then, sa July 25, cash received on account with a discount. So, if you are, diri, pareho ra. So, to summarize, ito na siyang, to summarize, so here, this is a sales transaction, right? Sales transaction. Now, this is a purchase transaction. So you are the buyer here. Here, you are the seller. So, diri sa purchase transaction, daghan kaayo ang ma-change in terms of the account title. No? Here, daghan kay changes. So, everything that you recorded in purchases, purchase returns, and allowances, freight in, purchase discounts, everything will be recorded in merchandise inventory. So, sales transaction naman is, as isra ka, stay the same, no? But there is an additional entry for perpetual inventory system because we are in continuous or we continuously track cost of goods sold man. So, naagyo ni siya additional entry here under perpetual. Okay, so that's it for the journal entries. It's very easy, very straightforward, and it's already a refresher from your Accounting 101. Now, for the inventory shortages, inventory shortages. So, dili jud na perfect, no? Wala jud perfect in a real world. Naa jud na mga normal loss and abnormal loss. And where do we recognize the normal loss and abnormal loss? That's included sa cost of goods sold if that's a normal loss. Abnormal loss is other expense, no? Other expense. So here are the journal entries, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory, no? So it will decrease. It will decrease your inventory, no? Na short good ka sa inventory nimo. So na-decreasean imo inventory, no? Shortages. And here, subnormal loss, it's a loss on inventory or the account title that will be used or some other expense, no, that is unsa man applicable or when you look at your chart of accounts, unsa may mas applicable there na chart of na account title. Okay. So, unsa may mga normal loss? Normal loss kay kanang mga expected and unavoidable in the business operations, no? Kuha na sila. They are losses na which have occurred under efficient operating conditions. So may mga examples ani. Siguro if you are in a gasoline or namoy gasoline na business, no? Evaporation of liquids, kana normal loss na siya. Sample in a grocery store na ay mga shrinkages like mga fruits, dali nangalata na, no? Sa pa, for example, naa ka sa nakay unsa man mga mabuakon nga business. I mean business nga na mga babuakon nga mga items rather, no? So mga fragile items. So ang mga minor nga mga breakages in handling those will be included in the normal. Then for example, sa manufacturing na ay mga cutting of the waste, no? Like mga fabric na mga scraps. So apil na siya sa normal. Then sa agricultural products, for example, ang mga rice bakaha, mga nituyo na siya, no? So those are example of normal loss which are unavoidable, which are expected, no? In doing the business. Cost, that's cost of doing the business. So that will be included sa cost of goods sold. That's part, no, of doing the business. Then sa abnormal loss, kay sa man sila, mga unexpected, mga avoidable. And these are losses due to inefficiency mga negligence or mga unusual na events like mga unsa man, theft, shoplifting, mga fraud, fire or natural disasters. Although makaingon ka nga kuan man no, um yeah, I've mentioned already that it's unexpected. Um it's unexpected, no, to have fire or natural disasters. And we cannot avoid that one. But it's swak man siya sa definition of abnormal loss nga unexpected siya. So mga fire or natural disasters, mga major breakage due to poor handling, mga expired goods kay lagi nagtinanga ang inventory personnel, no? Walay management, um proper management of inventory. Mga damages from improper storage, no? So kana appeal na siya sa abnormal loss. And we can report them as other expense, no, or loss on inventory. Okay. And let's go to discount. So we have to mention discounts here, trade discount and then cash discount. So trade discount, this is never recorded, but it's already deducted, no? So what we will be recording, so kabantay mo sa sales invoice if you are the seller. Sales invoice, ang invoice price ra ang naadira. We will not be including trade discount. Although, hold on. Sa sales invoice, pwede ka mag-include og trade discount. But sa imong company's records, sa imong book, sa imong journal entry, sa imong journal, general journal, or sa imong sales journal, invoice price ra ang e-record. Then, sa cash discount naman, purchase discount. It will be recorded, no? Purchase discount if you're the buyer, sales discount if you are the seller. And we have two methods here of discounts. We have gross method and net method. This is the methods of recording purchases. Gross method and net method. So, naasan man ni siya, di ba, sa if you are the seller, if we are the seller. So, naasan ni siya sa atong accounts receivable na part, but we did not extensively discuss this one. So, gross method, net method, I'll just show you the journal entries, ha. So, gross method, you will not be deducting the discount in advance. So, as is siya, gross, no, buo. Purchases accounts payable, 20,000. Here, sa net method, you will be deducting in advance the discount. So, it's 20,000 times 98%. It's no longer 100% because the assumption of net method is that the business has taken advantage of the discount always under net method. So that's 98%. And then are paid within the discount period, so accounts payable. And then now is the time for us to record the purchase discount under gross method. But here in the net method, no, kay kuan ra, diretso ra accounts payable cash kay na-record naman nato diri. Apil naman nato siya deduct diri. No? So deducted na po na siya daan here when we paid for the discount. And then next is invoices of 5,000 are paid after discount period. So wala siya nakatake advantage of the discount. Therefore, naa siya purchase discount lost, which is debited. This is unsa man? This is other expense, or that is unsa man, a loss, no? So actually this is practical to use. So this has been used in real world or practically. Mo gini siyang ginagamit sa in practice. But net method, that's theoretically sound. So net method that reflects financial discipline. Ngano man, no? Ngan financial discipline. Kaysa net method man good, it's more on like proactive manggod siya, no? Proactive siya rather than passive, being passive. Passive ta here sa gross method, we only wait if discount is taken. That's when we record the discount. But here sa net method, we already assume that discount will be taken. So it's proactive approach, is a proactive approach. So here sa gross method, walay penalty if makamiss ta sa discount. But here sa net method, it recognizes penalty or expense. Here, the purchase discount loss. That's why that's why here in the net method we are being more of or we are being more disciplined. Kay we recognize penalty, no? And it's like um a financing cost, no? If we don't grab it. So it's treated as a financial mistake if we don't grab it. So that's why it's or it reflects financial discipline. So a simple illustration, no, for you to understand more. So for example, na terms 210 and 30. Then dili ka mo pay within the discount period 10 days. So you forgo it. You pay um in the next 20 days. So it's like saying na you pay 2% of 20,000 for 20 days, just for 20 days. So it's a high implied interest rate actually, no? So na siya. So that's gross method and net method. And I think we are done with this one. Now let's go to the last part of our discussion for the part 1. I know that you are already saba ganahan na mo mukaon there or whatsoever mag movie marathon, no? Anyways, hapit na ta. Measurement of inventory. Um, Initially, we measure it at cost. Subsequently, we measure it at LC and RV. Now, I would like you to know also the differences between the two. What is initial recognition measurement and subsequent measurement? So when we say initial measurement, so we record it no we masa man when we value it the first time, when we purchase it the very first time, the date of acquisition. So it's valued or it's measured at cost. We record inventory at cost the first time we acquired it. And then subsequently, no, so subsequent measurement, it's like reevaluating the initial value, no? Para mapa-reflect ang mga changes if there are any, no? Like for example, may mga sa man obsolescence, no, of the inventory. And subsequent measurement kay as mentioned, it's like reflecting the changes, no? So updating the the carrying value of the assets after the initial recognition in the balance sheet. So the purpose of subsequent measurement is like to keep the asset as accurate as possible after acquisition na, no? Para dili siya static. So what if ang kana siya nga amount kay dili na siya reflective of the true amount as of today's date. So subsequent measurement, if you also want to ask me, when does this occur? No, how can we say that it's already a subsequent measurement? So mo occur siya probably quarterly, no? Or annually after na nato ma-recognize ang katong inventory at cost. So, for example, napalit na to inventory or we are in a calendar period, January. So, nagpalit ang mga inventories, January pod. So January, that's the initial recognition, and then we also measure it at cost. Then come quarterly, after the first or after that particular quarter, no, probably at quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, then we can subsequent measure it. So that's at lower of cost and net realizable value. So I hope you get the differences between initial measurement and subsequent measurement. And it's like pare-pareho rin na siya sa initial recognition, initial subsequent recognition. But when we say recognition manggod, it's like capturing that particular asset in in the financial statements. Sa measurement, it's like we're talking about the value. We're talking about the amount, no? So, how is it being valued initially? That's being valued at cost. And then subsequently, that's being valued at lower of cost and net realizable value. So, naana tayo net realizable value here. So, when we recall what we discussed in our accounts receivable, so accounts receivable, we initially recognize or we initially measure it at unsa man katong invoice price, no? Invoice price, and then subsequently it will be measured at net realizable value if that's accounts receivable. But if it's notes receivable, that's subsequently measured at amortized cost. So anyways, manata sa accounts receivable, so inventories na ta. Now for the measurement, let's tackle initial measurement at initial measurement only for our part one. So at um, cost, when we mean cost here, there are, or we can have a category, cost of purchase or cost of conversion. So say for example, we are in a merchandising type of business. So that's only cost of purchase. But if we are in a manufacturing type of business, so naay conversion, no? So naay mga cost of conversion. So cost of purchase. Kasi may mga examples sa cost of purchase. So that is cash, no? So how much is the amount or pila man ang ato ang gibayaran, no? Cash, apil ang cash. What else ang apil there? Apil ang mga import duties if that's imported, no? Irrevocable taxes, irrevocable taxes. If that's revocable taxes, then meaning it will not be included sa imong cost of purchase because pwede mo siya ma-revoke, pwede siya unsa man, pwede siya ma-change, no? But if it's irrevocable taxes, so dili na. So you really have to pay for it. Then mga freight, transportation in, mga handling cost, mga directly attributable costs. Apil na siya sa cost of purchase. Then, what if na ay mga trade discount? So, minus din mo ang trade discount sa cost of purchase kay at least man lang nakalas-less ka. Rebates, no? I-apil sa na siya deduct and other mga similar items. Then, what if ang kanang pagpalit nimo it's in an installment basis, no? So, naa kay purchase price, how much is the purchase price, and then imong amount na gibayaran, no? There is also a component there. When you deduct the amount paid from the purchase price, you will arrive at an amount, no? Na siya'y difference we which we attribute that to interest expense. So purchase price minus amount paid if you are purchasing it in an installment basis, no? Natay interest expense nga bayaran there. Okay? Now for the cost of conversion, natay mga direct materials, no? Kato atong gi-discuss sa work in process inventory, direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead or factory overhead. So naa sad tay gitawag nga fixed unsa man fixed cost na tay variable cost. So the fixed cost example ana niya kay mga depreciation, no? Kay fixed man na sila. Maintenance, but naa say portion nga variable ang na variable component ang maintenance pod, no? Then unsa man ang mga variable cost kay kana mga indirect labor, no? Indirect labor, mga indirect materials. So those are example of variable costs. And we also have, so I think we did mention naman no like yung mga directly attributable cost. So or mga other cost. So mga directly ang kanang mga directly attributable costs, no? So we can remember it as DACs, no? DACS, directly attributable costs. Those are expenses necessary to bring goods to their present location and condition. So those are expenses nga unsa man that are helpful, no? Para ma-realize ang kanang unsa man ma-transport ang kanang mga goods, no? To the present location. And examples of those are kato kung mga gi-mention ganina, import duties, mga transportation, freight in, mga handling charges, or mga, for example, kanang when you set up the machine, no? We are talking about PPE na noon, no? But it's like that, no? Directly attributable costs. Ang mga insurance, mga cost of testing or inspection, no? Mao na siya ang appeal sa directly attributable costs. And napud tay gitawag nga other costs, no? That are not directly attributable to the cost of inventory, no? Or to bring the inventory to the present location and condition. Thus, we will be expensing those immediately. So example are abnormal waste. So katong abnormal waste na atong gi-discuss ganina, those are costs from inefficiencies or mga errors that are expensed because they are not part of the normal production. The next is ang storage costs. Mga storage costs if dili necessary, no? So storage costs generally these are expensed. But if kana ang storage costs, they are required in the production process, they are part of the work in process, no? That will be capitalizable. So capitalizable meaning ma-appeal siya sa cost of the inventory. Then administrative costs. So example ani kay mga general and administrative expenses, no? Because they do not directly contribute to bringing the inventory in its current condition, no? So mga sweldo baron sa head of sa man um, supervisor salaries, no? Supervisor salaries which are fixed. So administrative um anda naman siya sa admin na position. So dili na siya ma-appeal there sa cost of inventory. That is expensed immediately. Adto na siya sa general and administrative expenses. Selling and distribution costs rather. So they are, or these costs, these expenses are incurred after the inventory is masaman, ready for sale na, no? So wala siya sa masaman, dili siya part of um dili siya part of the production, no? Selling and distribution cost. So after na siya. So once the inventory is ready for sale. So that cost will be incurred after the inventory is ready for sale. Okay, so those are examples of expenses that are expensed immediately. And now for the cost or service provider, no? So I think that's mentioned in your book there na ay mga, so if that is a service type of business, ang imuhang business, so unsa may mga examples sa cost of inventory, no? So cost of inventory of a service provider kay kanang mga labor, mga other costs of the personnel which directly engaged in providing the service, no? So direct labor kintahay kung dirita sa cost of conversion. Then we will be including the supervisory personnel and attributable overhead, no? If those persons are directly engaged in providing the service. So those will be part of the cost of inventories of the service provider. Then labor and other costs relating to sales and general administrative personnel, dili sila i-include, no? Those are recognized as expenses those are recognized as expenses in the period in which they are incurred. Okay, so I think um for the subsequent measurement, which is lower of cost and net realizable value, this will be covered in part 3 after we discuss the cost flow methods, the FIFO, LIFO, weighted average. No? So I think that's it for our part 1. Thank you so much for watching and for being attentive. I hope you learned something today. And abangan ang part 2. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, and God bless everyone. Happy studying the I class.